Hey, everybody, and welcome to our, well, I guess sort of a webinar conversation. You might be looking at this on your computer, your laptop, or device, or maybe you're listening to it on your phone. That's also fine. We have got 30 minutes to spend together to talk about a really, really interesting way to market your business, generate leads, grow your revenues as well. My name is Gene Marks, and I'm going to introduce myself in just a minute and my co-panelists. But this webinar is all about audio advertising. It's a big trend. It's a large trend that's not only affecting your larger businesses, but this conversation is going to be about small businesses like yours and mine. I have a personal sort of connection to this because this type of advertising appeals to me in my company and something that I'm interested in doing and something that I'm interested in hearing what our panelists is going to instruct us. So again, my name is Gene Marks. I own a company called the Marks Group PC. We're outside of Philadelphia. We sell mostly CRM, customer relationship management applications, as well as some other business technology as well. And I do a lot of writing. So I write on technology 6 times a month for Forbes magazine, and I also write on technology for Inc. And then I'm also a writer for Weekly at the Philadelphia Inquirer and The Guardian and Entrepreneur magazine. I am joined by Kate Gerwe. Kate, please say hello.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
I'm glad to have you on, and we're looking forward to our conversation. Kate, you are the VP of Marketing at AdsWizz, so I know we're going to kind of talk about AudioGO, but just to clear this up, first of all, what exactly is AdsWizz,
Sure.
and what is your role at AdsWizz? Just explain what VP of Marketing there does.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. It's great to be here, everybody. I'm the head of marketing for AdsWizz. AdsWizz is a company that's about 10 years old that makes digital audio advertising solutions. We were acquired by Pandora, which was then acquired by SiriusXM in the last couple of years. And we've got solutions for large companies, for Pandora, for iHeart, for NPR. Those are all of our customers, our monetization solutions for digital audio, as well as buying solutions for large agencies. The product here, AudioGO, is we took all of this 10 years of digital audio advertising expertise and knowledge, which we've won awards for best overall technology, for programmatic trading and best monetization platform and all that. And we slimmed it down to make a really simple solution for small businesses. And that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today.
Sounds good. So let's get on to what we're going to be talking about today. Really 5 big things. The first is I want to talk about how your business, and by the way, when I say your business, I mean your business and my business, because I'm as interested in this as anybody else, how we can use digital audio advertising to build our awareness, land more customers, get our message out there. We're going to talk about the benefits of audio, the rise of audio, where it's not just a video world. Why digital audio for small business advertisers is a potential great source of revenue and a great opportunity, particularly for a small business. Once we get into it, we'll get into some of the weeds, and Kate is going to talk to us about how to target using AudioGO as a platform. How can we specifically target our listener demographic, and AudioGO and this type of platform really gives us a lot of advantages to do just that. In addition to that, we are going to be talking about some metrics for measuring the success of our audio campaigns so we know whether or not our money is getting spent the right way. And then really we'll then talk about how to get started by promoting your business using AudioGO. What are the things that you need to know? What are the things that, to get yourself going and using this as well. So remember, there's a lot of different marketing options that are out there today. There's a lot of places to spend your money. A lot of businesses, like mine, we haven't really considered audio advertising as a type of channel for us to go out to because we've always thought it's too complicated or too expensive, and that's just not the case. And new technologies and new platforms can give your business and mine a real opportunity to target good prospective customers and generate some leads. So let's start at the beginning and where we are, and what we'll ask from you, Kate, to start out with. What exactly is audio advertising? How do you describe that, Kate?
Right. So when most people think of audio advertising, you're thinking of traditional radio. People would buy commute times or by kind of a radio ad. Now, audio advertising, when you think about the evolution of audio, we spend 4 hours every day, Americans do, listening to streaming music or streaming information, streaming audio, 4 hours a day. So it's really become integrated in our lives. When you think about podcasts, you think about Alexa and smart speakers and Pandora and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all the streaming services, it's really become integrated into our lives. So one of the ways we can think about it is, rather than buying radio, you can buy an audience. You can buy 18 to 24-year-old women who like fitness or something like that. So it's really, audio advertising is, getting your message into the ears of your target audience. And there's a lot of ways, really streamlined ways to do it. It's not like radio ads like it used to be. It's a whole different world.
And I just want to make sure, when we talk about audio back in the day, it was just radio. I mean, as little as 5 or 10 years ago, but there's been an explosion in streaming and audio content. So, Kate, does that, when you talk about audio advertising, do you mean both streaming and downloaded audio as well? Do you bring that all under the same umbrella?
That's right. This is mostly on our podcast solutions. We do have, it's a little bit more complicated, but we do allow the ads to be included also in downloaded podcasts. But right. It's primarily for streaming. But there are, billions and billions of impressions every month available for audio advertising. And there's, when you think, I think most people think of it as like, it's complicated and it's expensive and how do I do it? And I don't know how to make an audio ad, it's just really, that's what I think today we can talk about, is it's a heck of a lot easier than you think to get, message into the ears of someone listening to music online or listening to a podcast or listening or on Alexa.
Okay, fair enough. So again, if we're going after people that are listening to anything on audio, for the most part streaming, in some cases downloading, audio advertising is this whole new generation of kind of area that we can go to. So I guess that's just, it leads us into the next obvious question. How does AudioGO fit into this? AudioGO is your product. Tell me about what it does.
Sure. So AudioGO is a self-service platform that makes it really easy to just buy audio ads. And so it's at audiogo.com if you go there. What we've done is we've aggregated inventory from Pandora, from iHeart, from TuneIn, and Cumulus, and there are more coming because we work with all of these publishers today. And then we've built a really simple interface where you go, you set up your account, and you will make an ad for you if you don't have an ad, which is really easy to do. And literally within 5 minutes, and I think I talk about this a little bit more, you right. can be up and running with an audio ad for as little as $250. So it's a really simple, easy to use self-service platform for running audio ads.
So again, in the past, I guess, if you wanted to do an advertisement on radio, for example, particularly for a small business, you had to go through an ad agency probably, or a media buyer. You had to create your own ads. It was expensive to do. AudioGO streamlines that, I guess, and kind of puts it in the hands of the business owner or the marketing person to do it all themselves.
That's exactly right. What you would do before is you'd have to create an insertion order for people know what audio ads are. Or if you wanted to advertise on Pandora, usually they have minimums, and it might be like $10,000. It might be a minimum to buy ads on Pandora. And so now, because we've worked really closely with Pandora, they're a great service that now for as little as $250, you can be advertising on Pandora and you can be up and running in the same day. So we've just made it really, really easy to get your message out to the people that you want to hear it in the location you want to hear it. You can even say, this is the, it's country rock listeners or people that like, easy listening music or classical. We can even target by music genre as well.
Yeah, but even like Pandora and iHeart, I mean, there's a lot of business shows on there as well, and there's a lot of talk shows, right? So it's not all necessarily just music. If we're going after people that have an interest in certain types of business shows, political shows, current events, things like that, that might dovetail into our businesses, we can target those listeners on those specific stations.
That's
Also true?
right. It's not all music. We definitely have a number of spoken word categories that you can target as well. But it's mostly, we're kind of trying to think about it as, what most small businesses do is they want to reach a certain target audience. It's sometimes rather than saying I want to be on, this commute time and anyone's listening, or this, on iHeartRadio or Pandora and anyone's listening, you're saying, no, really, I want to reach women ages 18 to 34 that, live in Westchester County, New York. That's my target. And we've made it really easy to do just that.
Got it. Okay. So you said that for as little as $250. So I'm going to take 500. I've been promising this to you, Kate, for a long time. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take $500 and I want to give it a shot. Now, again, my business, we're a technology services company. So I'm looking at any, to sell my CRM software. We do like Salesforce and Microsoft products and things like that. So I want to target business owners. I want to target marketing managers and sales managers, and I want to get their attention with an ad. So I take $500. I go to AudioGo. Tell me what I need to do.
That's perfect. Okay,
how does this work?
I'll walk you through exactly what you would do. You would go, and you literally can be, if you have an audio ad, you can be up in literally 5 minutes, be up and running and track the progress of your ad down to how many people have listened to it. But if you don't, we'll make an audio ad for you. So here's what you do. You go to audiogo.com and you click on the button, and it'll walk you through a very simple sign up where you just enter your name, email. You select the category. You said you wanted like technology. We verify that it's really you, and you're in. And then there's 2 buttons in the upper right. You would click one that says, if you don't have an audio ad, it says request an audio ad. So it's only $10 for an audio ad. And you click on that and you'll say, I'd like a male voice to read it. I'd like it to be serious. There's certain criteria that you set, just like 3 or 4, very easy. I'd like certain kind of background music or no background music. And then you would write the script. It's only 75 words. So you'll have to, that's kind of I don't know if it's the hardest part, but it's usually you might get the writer's block. You write the script.
If you don't mind, let me interrupt you. So it's 75 words, which means that the ad itself has got to be pretty short. I'm assuming, right? Like a 30-second ad.
30-second ads. If you've got 15 seconds on those too, but we create pretty much to 30-second spots.
Got it. Okay.
So you just hit submit, then we'll send it back to you usually within, I think we say within 2 business days, but it's usually within 1, within a day. You get it back. I've used it, we've used it before for some of the things that we're doing, and they're great quality. And then you go into audiogo.com to set up your campaign, and what you do is you'll say, I want it to run these dates. I want it to run, you just drag and drop and upload your audio. And if you have display creative, you can drag and drop and upload that. You select, I want it, the age, if you want, age, I want this age, 18 to 34 years old, or there's different, it's really easy to select that.
Right.
You select, you want male or female, if that's important to you, you can select the gender. You'll select the location down to the county level. So you can say, I want it all in the United States, or all in New York State, or all in this DMA or MSA, or only in, San Mateo County. And then you can say, I only want, we also do Spanish language or English language. So you can select, I only want English language listeners to read it. And then you'd select the genre. So I'd like it to be, doesn't matter to me, or I really want, pop rock or hard rock, or, for you, it probably wouldn't matter, but for some advertisers it does. And then that's it. And then you hit submit, and then there's a dashboard that you can track the progress of the ad in real time. So there's a little bar, and it'll say $500, and it'll say you've spent, within a day, if it's running for a month, within a day, you've spent $47.26. If you every time you log in, it'll be updated. It updates in real time. It's been listened to by I think $500, you'll reach about, I have to do the exact math, but you'd reach about 40,000 unique listeners. And so it'll say exactly how many times your ad's been played, how many people have listened to it. You also know exactly how many have listened to it all the way through. And it's usually the listen through rates are between 95 and 97%. I mean, we get really great listen through rates. So you can track it. You can pause it at any time. It's just it's super easy. We just get gushing feedback from people like, wow, it's so easy. I had no idea, kind of thing.
But let me recap this, because again, for me, because I don't, I've never done this before. So I don't have an ad, but AudioGO can do it for me. All I need to do is I need to write the script. And I'm going to get back to that in just a minute, because I'm going to ask you for a couple of tips on doing this. But number two, because these are streaming services, a lot of these streaming services, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kate, like iHeart, Pandora, a lot of them get, the users submit profiles, right, of who they are. And obviously it can track where they are as well, because these services have the ability to do that. So rather than just having an ad that just goes out to a whole big area that may or may not be of interest to a business owner, literally, if you're like a pizza shop in, I don't know, Laurel Springs, Maryland, and you want to just focus on listeners in that specific area, you can do that and only pay for the people that are listening in that specific area. Whereas in TV or radio ads, you'd be paying for a lot of people listening to your ad that could care less, because they're not going to come to Laurel Springs, Maryland to buy a pizza. Am I right about that?
You are hitting the nail on the head. Oops, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. We can hear you.
You are hitting the nail on the head. I think that's the opportunity, and especially for small businesses, is that you don't have these huge budgets. And so you really want to make sure, if you're investing in marketing, that it's being heard by exactly your target audience that you want to hear it. So that's the biggest opportunity, is that you can target exactly the location, the gender, the age, the language of exactly who you want to hear your ad. The other thing that's neat about audio that people don't, that you kind of know when you hear about it, when you hear something, if you see a display ad, people are so busy on the page they might not even see it, and we get so sort of blinded by like billboards and things like that. But when you hear something, you get an emotional connection with the user. And so there are studies that show that audio advertising, when someone hears the message, you've got a 3 times increase, a 300% uplift in brand recall and brand, kind of the brand, that people remember the brand and they have a good feeling about it. Again, it depends on the creative,
sure.
But, creative, right. It's a twice as much, 2 times intent to purchase. And we've also done studies where we track, we can't do this on AudioGO, but we've tracked listeners on an audio ad that with the device ID and then going into a retail store, and it's a 90% uplift in people that heard the ad that actually went into the store versus those that didn't. So we know that audio advertising is very effective. And when you think about the world today and how it's evolving, audio is on when screens are off. So a lot of times we're like, you said, you're in the car, you're listening to a podcast, you're going for a run, you're working out, people are listening all the time. And we're not always sitting in front of our laptops or even in front of our, our mobile devices looking at things. We're listening a lot. And it's a really great opportunity to reach your target audience at new moments during the day. That's the real breakthrough here, is we've made it easy for little businesses to be very effective with their spend with a really a medium audio that's just absolutely exploding in today's world.
And I guess the other thing is that the ad gets served up again and again. So it's not like a one and done deal. So if you're targeting a certain demographic, even a certain genre of music or talk radio or whatever, until your budget gets used up, those same listeners are going to hear it multiple times. And like everybody, I mean, you need to hear something more than once before the message starts sinking through. And I think that's what I've told is another big powerful benefit of this. Does that make sense?
That's right. That's exactly right. And when you do the ads, you can optimize them. We have a real-time audience guide. So as you're doing your, you're saying, well, actually, I don't want it to be 18 to 34. I only want it to be 18 to 24-year-old women. And you'll get sort of in real time a little, it's like a little dial. It's like a little guide that tells you how many users are in that audience. And so you can optimize where we'll say, oh, you're getting way too narrow here. We don't have enough impressions. But for the most part, because we're aggregating inventory from so many platforms, we've got plenty of impressions, and you can optimize for either I want to have as many people hear me just once or twice, or I want to have fewer people, but they hear my ad a number of times. And there's
got it.
Do that when you're creating your targeting in real time within the product.
Got it. So, okay, so I skipped ahead some metrics, and in the end, listen, Kate, I mean, no offense, but I'm going to give you guys $500 of my money, and I want leads out of this. You know what I mean? So I do want to see results. So how do I know that this is working? Is number one, and number two is what advice do you have to help me get leads from this type of marketing?
It's a really great question, and it is the sort of, as they say, I'm dating myself, the $64,000 question, but like the real for audio advertising, it's called attribution, measurement. Like someone hears an ad, but how can you tell, what the impact was? With display ads, people measure clicks. I clicked on it, right? So it's like, oh, someone clicked on it, but anyone that's been doing a lot of online advertising knows that that's not really a measure of, a sale. And there's lots of different, kind of tricks around that. A couple of things. So one is have a very clear call to action. So if you want them to say, visit the website, go into the store, call this number, make a very clear call to action. And most small businesses may not be able to have that be unique. But if it's something that's unique, like come into the store, mention this ad and get $25 off or something like that, then you'll know exactly how many people listened to the ad and came in. The other thing that we're doing
if I could jump in there. So in my case, if I said, listen, if you're listening to this ad, we'll give you, 20% off your first month of the service, come to marksgroup.net/radio, some specific landing page. Is that also a good way to do this?
That's exactly right. That'll get you exactly sort of the where, that'll get your measurements quickly. One of the things that happens too is people will hear the ad, and this, we do this all the time, right? I hear the ad, I'm like, oh, that's really neat. I go to Google, I search it, I click on whatever comes up, and then, quote unquote, Google gets credit, and that's why Google is Google. So that's sort of the nature of our behavior and just the reality. But the truth is that audio ad was the driver of it. And so that's where, if you do have national services and you run the ads only in Suffolk County, or if you're in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia MA, you can see if there's an impact specifically in that area. I mean, you might need to run a higher volume of ads to kind of measure that, but that's also one thing. We do have a case study where one customer, it was a cosmetology school, they ran a $4,500 campaign. So it might sound big, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, that's smallish, but they were trying to drive signups for their school. And the school, I think one student would be $17,000. So that was kind of their math.
Got it.
They did women in the Salt Lake City area for 1 month, and they said they had a website that was /Pandora, because they were looking, kind of thinking this as advertising on Pandora, and they said if you go into the school and you mention this ad, we'll give you a free consultation, just like that. So they were able to actively measure like 150 visits to the site, I think 7 or 10 visits into the store, and 3 actual new students, which at $17,000 times 3 is $50,000. They paid $4,500 for the ad, way more than paid for itself, kind of thing. So we do have examples of that, of case studies. Each business is different, so what your metrics are and how much you'd spend and all of that is unique, but but the specific call to action is really important. Having them a specific call to action and some sort of benefit, if they measure the audio ad, will help you track the benefit there. And if you have it in a specific geographic area and you measure the impact there from those audio ads, that's another way to try to exactly hone down.
Perfect.
One thing too, I just want to say, we also have, we do this, everyone does audio with display, and it's consistent across the board. We see a 4 times increase in clicks on the banners when they hear an audio ad. So we have and that sort of makes sense too, right? If you think about it, you hear something and then next time you see the ad, you're more likely to click. So there's also, for people that are running sort of display campaigns, when you layer in audio on top of it, it's almost, nothing's a guarantee, but it's very, very consistent that we're seeing that those display campaigns then behave, there's a much better response rate there.
That's great. And then let me also just give a quick pause. Thanks to Seth and Nancy and some other people who have been asking questions on the question panel. Feel free to do that if you're listening to this live, and I will answer you as Kate is talking away. And you'll have my contact information at the end of this webinar, and you can email me with questions specifically. So, Kate, back to our discussion. In the end, we want to talk about what industries that would benefit this the most. You and I were talking about who should we be targeting this to? What are your thoughts? I mean, at AudioGO, who do you think would be the best small businesses that you think would benefit the most from this type of marketing platform?
Yeah. Well, we can only, this product is new, so we can say what we're seeing today and what we anticipate in the coming years, where we're seeing a lot of activity. One of the first ones are people that are doing any sort of events, concerts, fundraisers, sports, like those kinds of things, because they sort of lend themselves to like this Saturday county fair, or a certain fundraiser, or a lot of concert promotions or sports events. We've got sports teams, professional sports teams on AudioGO, because it's time bound. You can run a short campaign saying it's this Saturday. That's something that really makes sense and sort of lends itself to the medium as well. A second one we're seeing are a lot of schools, higher education. It's actually all kinds of schools. I talked about that cosmetology school, but we're seeing a lot of universities and schools and educational facilities doing this as well. Services, any services, as long as you've got sort of a call to action, that seems to be, it's like healthcare, legal, home services, a lot of those, we're seeing a lot of those. Real estate seems to be really growing, and that's both, I don't know if there's, for people that are familiar with real estate, that's both on the broker side and the individual agent side. So brokerages, we'll talk about, Coldwell Banker locally and that kind of thing. And we also have individual agents, real estate agents promoting themselves. So that is interestingly a new one. And then 2 more, retail, like any sort of physical location that I talked about, whether it's a small coffee shop or whether it's a local store or a restaurant or anything like that. It's one of those things that, as I said, we've seen very specific, measurable, like this is like technically measurable from the device ID and tracking that coming into the store, of the impact of audio and success in driving foot traffic into locations. But again, if a specific call to action of come into the store, mention this ad and get XYZ, get 20% off or something like that, or visit a website. That's the final one, either retail locations or websites with a specific call to action. We're also seeing those types of industries or types of ads are really
completely agree. Two quick comments on that. I know we're running out of time, but number one is I love the idea of events that you said that, and that's because we do events, and we have one coming up in December. I'm thinking this might be a perfect one, using AudioGO to target people in the Philly area to come to it. And number two is it's also, you mentioned with retail, we should have done this before Small Business Saturday, Kate. So many people offering promos, but listen, it's the holiday season. So for people to use AudioGo to do this type of advertising to get people, shoppers in before Christmas, it's actually a really good time of year to do. Okay, so as I want to keep this, and be sensitive to everybody's time. Just very quickly, just the cost of doing this. I mean, you said it could be for as low as $250. Can we be real here? I mean, how much do you think if I was going to be getting some value out of this, what do you think a typical business owner like myself would wind up spending over the course of the year? Should we be budgeting a few $100 a month, $1,000 a month? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a great question, and it's really hard to answer because it really depends on the business. We've got some businesses, there's one that was spending, tens of thousands of dollars a month. But it was kind of a different, unique situation. We have a lot of concert promotions that do kind of, $500 ads, 3 days before all their shows. That's just kind of a kind of ongoing thing, and it's more of a tied to different events. I do think something like that is a good idea, like that sort of, a couple $1,000s a month. And again, it depends on your business and your kind of, your goals. But I do think having that ongoing and keeping it fresh each month too, with specific calls to action. I think the real thing to do is define that target, define your target audience, and then, like any good marketer, try to understand what the things are that would resonate with them, and keep the ads fresh, so you can have something fresh each month. I think that's a great strategy.
Fair enough. All right. And almost finally, Kate, so just project this out. I mean, this seems like it is a no-brainer to me. It also seems like as audio streaming and downloading and podcasts are exploding and will continue to grow, and as these platforms are capturing more and more data about us, the listeners, it seems like kind of a no-brainer for small businesses to be investing in this type of marketing, as opposed to other types, even online marketing. Where's this all going?
Yeah, no, that's what we're seeing. So if you look at kind of, industry and things where audio is a fairly small portion of the overall media spend versus like, video and display and keywords and that kind of thing, it is by far the fastest growing. And as I said, we've been getting all these awards for things like best overall platform for programmatic trading and best monetization platform. And in all these award ceremonies, we're up against, video and display and all of those. And it's kind of I'm only mentioning that, not to brag about our awards, but more to mention that I think audio is kind of the next big thing. It's really what we're, what's coming up is we'll be able to talk to ads, if you want, rather than just listen to an ad. You have a two-way conversation. You say, oh, that's interesting, tell me more. And it's
wow.
Think of how Alexa is going, that with Alexa, with podcasts, with, we're connected all the time, in our cars, and it's definitely, it is. We're at AdsWizz, we're creating lots of really interesting, new and innovative audio advertising experiences on our larger platform. And as these evolve, we're also going to bring them into AudioGo. We have one called Shake Me. If you think about it, you're running, you're on your phone. You're not going to click on an ad, but you want to engage with the ad. You shake your phone, and then you can either make a phone call or go to the website or, vote on something or get a coupon, download a coupon. Those are really, and we've run them in, hundreds of millions of impressions of these campaigns in countries all over the world. So things like that, just whole different ways of interacting with audio is it's just taking off.
It's exciting stuff. All right, well, that's great. You sold me. I'm telling you, I'm going to be doing this. And actually, I think, really, because we have this event like near the end of December, I think I might target for that. Everybody, if you're watching the screens, audiogo.com, hello@audiogo.com. I know a bunch of you guys had questions. I've been responding to them as we've been going along, but I can't get to them all. So by all means, email hello@audiogo.com with any further questions that you might have. Kate, I want to thank you. This information was fantastic. If you look at your screen now, Kate's email address is on there as well, so you can harass her at kate.gerwe, Gerwe, at adswizz.com, adswizz.com. My email address is Gene, Gene, at marksgroup.net, marksgroup.net. Kate, thank you. This was a great and informative session. I appreciate you taking the time out to educate us all about what we can be doing with audio advertising, and I'm sure you and I will talk again in the very near future.
Great, no problem, Gene. Really, thank you very much. It's really been, I've really enjoyed the chance to talk about it.
I'm glad. And everybody, email me if you'd like a copy of this. I can email you a link. We'll be putting this session up for the recording of the session so you can view it again later. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the day. Take care.
All right, great. Thanks.